Commander Zexthul stared at the small human repair station through the viewing port of his massive warship. The Stellar Dominion was one of the largest vessels in the Galactic Coalition fleet, and it made the human station look like a toy. Metal structure orbited Earth's moon, spinning slowly in the darkness of space. Its lights blinked in simple patterns, nothing like the complex energy displays of proper Coalition stations. This is what emergency protocols brought us to? Zexthul. Voice carried disgust through his translator. His scales shifted color from blue to dark purple, showing his anger. A primitive human outpost? His second-in-command, Officer Krolven, checked the damage reports on his tablet. Sir, our quantum drive core is failing. The hull breach is on. Decks 7 through 12 are getting worse. We lost 3 more energy conduits in the last hour. The massive ship shuddered as another system failed. Sparks flew from control panels, and the lights dimmed for a moment. Emergency alarms beeped throughout the bridge. Zexthul gripped his command chair as the ship lurched to one side. The nearest Coalition repair facility is 3 star systems away, Krolven continued. Our drive core won't last that long. The humans are our only option. Zexthul's forearms tensed with frustration. How had the mighty Coalition come to this? Depending on humans for repairs was embarrassing. These creatures had barely figured. Out faster than light travel 50 years ago. Their technology was simple, crude, and based on ancient mechanical principles that the galaxy had moved beyond centuries ago. Send the distress signal, he ordered. But make it clear this is temporary. We'll let them patch us up enough to reach a real repair facility. The human station responded quickly. A voice came through the communication system, speaking in the simple trade language most humans had learned. This is Luna Station Control. We received your distress call. Please state the nature of your emergency. This is Commander Zexthul of the Coalition Dreadnought Stellar Dominion. We require immediate docking and repair services. Our vessel has suffered severe damage. There was a pause. Then the human voice returned, sounding nervous. Commander, we're honored to help. Please follow the guidance beacons to Docking Bay. 7. It's our largest bay, but I'm not sure if your ship will fit. Zexthul looked at his navigation officer, who nodded. Sir, their largest bay is barely big enough for our ship. We'll have to retract our outer sensor arrays and fold in the UF. Weapon pods. The Stellar Dominion slowly moved toward the human station. Its massive bulk blocked out the stars as it approached. Human workers in simple spacesuits floated outside their station, watching the enormous alien vessel with obvious amazement. Some of them took pictures with primitive recording devices. Docking took almost an hour. The human station's guidance systems were basic but functional. Their docking clamps were strong enough to hold the Coalition ship, though they creaked and groaned under the weight. Finally, the airlocks connected with soft hissing sounds. Jake Martinez, the station chief, waited in the docking bay with a small team of humans. He was a middle-aged man with graying hair and oil stains on his work uniform. His hands were rough from years of manual labor. He looked very small next to the massive alien airlock. When the door opened, Commander Zexthul stepped out in his environmental suit. He was 3 meters tall, with 4 arms and skin that changed colors. His 2 Coalition engineers followed him, their equipment floating behind them on anti-gravity platforms. Welcome to Luna Station, Jake said, extending his hand in the human greeting gesture. I'm Station Chief Martinez. We'll do everything we can to help you. Zexthul looked at the extended hand, but didn't take it. We require immediate assessment of our quantum drive core and hull integrity systems. How quickly can your people complete this task? Jake's team exchanged glances. The alien's attitude was cold and dismissive. We'll need to examine your ship first. My chief engineer, Lisa Campbell and our physicist, Dr. Kevin Ross, will need to. Your primitive scanning equipment will be inadequate, interrupted one of the coalition engineers. We have technology you cannot possibly understand. Your tools are centuries behind our standards. Lisa Campbell stepped forward. She was a woman in her 40s, with short brown hair and confident blue eyes. With respect, we've worked on coalition technology before. We might surprise you. The coalition engineers made sounds that might have been laughter. Impossible. Your species has barely mastered basic energy manipulation. Our quantum drive systems operate on principles your science hasn't discovered yet. Dr. Kevin Ross, a quiet man with glasses, took notes on a simple tablet. He watched the alien engineers with interest, saying nothing. His calm demeanor contrasted with the aliens' arrogance. If you'll follow me, Jake said, we can begin the assessment. Our teams are experienced with emergency repairs. As they walked through the station corridors, the coalition engineers continued their comments. Look at these primitive tools, one said, pointing at a welding unit. They still use plasma torches for metalwork. How quaint. Their computer systems are laughably basic, the other added. No quantum processing, no dimensional matrix calculations. How do they accomplish anything? Lisa Campbell bit back her response. These aliens had no idea what human engineers could do. They saw simple tools and assumed simple minds. But she had spent years studying recovered alien technology, learning how it worked, and finding ways to fix it when alien engineers couldn't. The group reached the engineering section, where the coalition ship's problems could be examined. The quantum drive core was visible through transparent aluminum panels. It pulsed with unstable energy, throwing off sparks and making dangerous clicking sounds. As you can see, Zexthel said, this is far beyond your capabilities. Perhaps you can provide us with raw materials while we attempt repairs ourselves. Jake studied the massive alien machine. To him, it looked like an overly complicated engine, with too many unnecessary parts. How long would your repairs take? With proper equipment from a coalition facility, perhaps 6 to 8 weeks. With your primitive tools ... Zexthel's scales shifted to a darker color. It may be impossible. Dr. Ross stepped closer to the drive core, his scanner beeping softly. Interesting energy patterns, he murmured. The quantum matrix is destabilizing, but the core problem seems to be in the plasma flow regulation. The coalition engineer stared. At him, you cannot possibly understand quantum matrix stabilization, one said. Your species lacks the mathematical framework to comprehend such concepts. Maybe, Dr. Ross replied quietly, but I understand energy flow, and I can see where yours is backing up. Lisa Campbell joined him, running her own scans. The plasma conduits are overloading because they're fighting each other. It's like having too many pipes trying to push water through the same valve. The aliens' expressions grew confused. These humans were talking about their most advanced technology like it was simple plumbing. It was impossible, yet they seemed to be identifying real problems. Your assessment is interesting, Zexthel admitted reluctantly. But identifying problems and solving them are different things. Even if you understand what's wrong, you lack the tools to fix it. Jake Martinez smiled for the first time since the aliens had arrived. Commander, we've been fixing things that shouldn't work for a long time. Sometimes the best solution is the simplest one. The coalition officers exchanged glances. These humans were either very foolish or very confident. Either way, they were the only option available. Very well, Zexthel said. Show us what you can do. The coalition engineers spent the next 3 hours arguing among themselves. They stood around the failing quantum drive, pointing at different components and speaking in their complex technical language. Their voices grew louder as they disagreed about repair procedures. The quantum matrix requires complete recalibration, insisted the first engineer, whose name was Vextar. We must disassemble the entire core structure and rebuild it from the foundation level. Impossible, argued the second engineer, Quindle. The dimensional flux patterns have destabilized beyond standard repair protocols. We need to replace the entire plasma regulation system. Commander Zexthil watched his experts with growing frustration. How long will either approach take? 6 weeks minimum, Vextar replied. We would need to order specialized components from the Coalition. Manufacturing worlds. The quantum crystals alone would take a month to grow properly. 8 weeks, Quindle countered. The plasma regulators are custom built for each ship class. They cannot be replicated with standard equipment. While the aliens argued, the human repair team worked quietly in the background. Sam Turner, a mechanic with 20 years of experience, crawled under the alien machinery with a simple flashlight and basic tools. He looked like a mouse next to the massive alien systems, but he moved with confidence. What is that human doing? Vextar demanded. He should not be touching our equipment without proper authorization. Just looking, Sam called out from under the machine, trying to understand how this thing works. Maria Santos, another experienced mechanic, joined him with her own tools. She was a small woman with strong hands and sharp eyes. Sam, look at this. These energy conduits are all tangled up. No wonder they're fighting each other. Yeah, I see it, Sam replied. It's like someone built a car engine with the fuel lines crossed. The energy wants to flow one way, but the system is forcing it to go 3 different directions. The Coalition engineers stared at them. Your primitive analogies are meaningless, Quindle said. This is not a simple combustion engine. This is a quantum field manipulation system operating on multidimensional energy principles. Dr. Kevin Ross looked up from his tablet, where he had been taking notes and making calculations. Actually, their analogy is pretty accurate. Energy flow follows predictable patterns, whether it's gasoline in a car or quantum plasma in an alien drive core. Impossible, Vextar snapped. You cannot reduce advanced quantum mechanics to simple mechanical principles. Why not? Asked Lisa Campbell. She had been studying the alien schematics for the past hour, comparing them to her own understanding of energy systems. Energy is energy. It wants to flow from high pressure to low pressure, whether it's water in a pipe or exotic matter in a quantum field. Chief Martinez joined the conversation. Our people have been working with Coalition technology for years. We've repaired dozens of alien ships that other stations couldn't fix. We just approached the problems differently. How differently? Commander Zexthil asked. Despite his prejudice against human capabilities, he was curious about their methods. We start with the basics, Lisa explained. Instead of looking at all the complex subsystems, we ask simple questions. What is this machine supposed to do? What's stopping it from doing that? What's the easiest way to fix it? Sam Turner slid out from under the machinery, his uniform dirty with alien lubricants. The problem is right here, he said, pointing to a junction where 6 different energy conduits met. These 3 conduits are pushing energy in, but these 3 are supposed to take it out. The system is basically choking on its own power. The human is correct, Dr. Ross added, showing his tablet readings. The energy buildup at that junction is causing cascade failures throughout the quantum matrix. Fix the bottleneck, and the whole system should stabilize. The Coalition engineers looked at each other in confusion. Even if that analysis is correct, Vextar said, the solution requires precise quantum field manipulation. You would need equipment that doesn't exist on this station. Maybe, Maria Santos said, or maybe we just need to think about it differently. She pointed to the tangled conduits. What if we don't try to fix the junction? What if we just give the energy a different path? A bypass? Lisa Campbell's eyes lit up. That could work. We could reroute the plasma flow around the problem area. Entirely. Ridiculous, Quindle protested. The energy patterns are precisely calculated. Any deviation would destroy the quantum matrix coherence. Would it? Dr. Ross asked. The matrix is already failing. At this point, we're not making it worse. We're giving it a chance to work. Jake Martinez made a decision. Let's try it. What do we need? Lisa Campbell pulled out her own tablet and began sketching. We need to create a new conduit path. Something that can handle quantum plasma, but doesn't interfere with the existing matrix structure. I can fabricate a bypass tube, Sam said. We've got quantum-stable materials and storage, salvaged from other repairs. The welding will be tricky, Maria added. We'll need to attach it while the system is still running. Can't shut down the quantum field without losing containment. Commander Zexthel's scales shifted to a lighter color, showing his nervousness. You want to perform hot repairs on an unstable quantum drive? That's incredibly dangerous. Everything's dangerous, Jake replied. But your current plan takes 8 weeks. Our ship sensors show Coalition patrol ships in this sector. If they find you here, disabled, what happens? The alien commander's expression grew grim. The Coalition had enemies, and a defenseless dreadnought would be a tempting target. How long for your approach? 2 days, Lisa said confidently. Maybe 3 if we run into complications. 2 days versus 8 weeks, Sam added. And our way, you'll be flying with a better drive system than you had before. Better? Vexstar laughed. Impossible. Coalition engineering is perfection. You cannot improve upon our designs. We'll see, Maria said quietly. She was already gathering her tools. Dr. Ross, can you monitor the quantum field while we work? We'll need to know immediately if something goes wrong. Of course, the physicist replied. I've been studying the energy patterns. I think I can predict how the system will respond to modifications. The Coalition engineers watched in amazement as the human team began organizing their repair attempt. These primitive beings were planning to fix in days what Coalition experts said would take months. It was either brilliant or suicidal. Commander, Vexstar said quietly, perhaps we should contact Coalition Command. Request emergency evacuation before these humans destroy your ship. Zexthel considered this. The safe option was to wait for Coalition rescue. But safe options took time, and time was something they didn't have. No, he decided. We'll let them try. But at the first sign of danger, we evacuate immediately. Understood, sir, Quindle replied. Though I suspect the first sign of danger will also be the last. Lisa Campbell overheard this comment and smiled. Don't worry. We've done this before. Human engineering might look primitive, but it works. Sometimes the best solution is the one nobody expects. The human team spent the rest of the day planning their approach. They studied the alien systems, calculated energy flows, and designed their bypass solution. The Coalition engineers watched with growing fascination as these supposedly primitive beings demonstrated deep understanding of advanced physics. How do they know so much about quantum mechanics? Vexstar whispered to his colleague. I don't. No, Quindle replied. Their methods are crude, but their understanding seems ... comprehensive. As the day ended, the human team was ready to begin their unconventional repair. The Coalition crew prepared for either success or disaster. Nobody knew which outcome was more likely. Tomorrow, Jake Martinez told Commander Zexthel, we'll show you what human engineering can do. The alien commander nodded, his scales showing. A mixture of hope and fear. I hope you're right, Chief Martinez. All our lives depend on it. The repair began at dawn, Earth time. The human team gathered around the massive quantum drive core. their simple tools looking tiny next to the alien machinery. Lisa Campbell checked her equipment one final time while Dr. Ross calibrated his. Monitoring systems. Everyone ready? Lisa asked. Her team nodded. Sam Turner and Maria Santos had their welding equipment prepared. Tony Garcia and Michelle Brooks stood by with backup systems. The entire human crew looked calm and focused. The Coalition engineers watched from a safe distance. "This is madness," Vexstar muttered. "They're going to kill us all." "Perhaps, Commander," Zexthal replied, "but they seem confident, and their approach does address the core problem we identified." Dr. Ross studied his readings. "The quantum matrix is still stable, but barely. We need to work fast before the cascade failure reaches critical levels." "Beginning Phase 1, Lisa announced. She activated her plasma torch, a simple human tool that glowed with controlled energy. "Sam, guide the bypass conduit into position." Sam Turner maneuvered the new conduit tube, a piece of salvaged alien metal that the humans had modified with their own techniques. It looked crude compared to the sleek alien components, but it was designed to handle quantum plasma safely. "Positioning complete," Sam reported, "ready for welding." "Wait," Dr. Ross called out. "I'm seeing energy spikes in the quantum field. The system is reacting to the new conduit. Is that bad?" Maria Santos asked. "I'm not sure," Dr. Ross replied honestly. "The energy patterns are changing, but they're not collapsing. It's like the system is trying to understand what we're doing." Lisa Campbell made a decision. "We continue. Tony, start the plasma flow regulators. Michelle, monitor the field containment. If anything goes wrong, we shut down immediately." The human team moved with practiced efficiency. They had worked together for years, repairing everything from simple cargo ships to complex alien vessels. Each person knew their job and trusted their teammates completely. "Beginning welding sequence," Lisa announced. Her plasma torch touched the junction point between the new conduit and the existing system. Sparks flew in brilliant colors as human and alien technologies merged. The Coalition engineers gasped. "The quantum field is fluctuating," Quindle reported. "This is exactly what we predicted would happen." "But look at the energy flow," Dr. Ross said, studying his readings. "It's not collapsing. It's reorganizing itself." The quantum plasma began flowing through the new bypass conduit. The energy that had been building up at the problem junction now had a clear path to follow. The cascade failure that had been threatening the entire system started to reverse. "It's working," Sam Turner said in amazement. "The energy flow is normalizing." "Impossible," Vexstar whispered. "The quantum matrix should be destabilizing. This violates basic principles of coalition engineering." "Maybe your principles are wrong," Maria Santos suggested. She was welding the second connection point, her movements smooth and confident. "Maybe making things too complicated causes more problems than it solves." Tony Garcia checked his monitoring. "Equipment. Energy efficiency is up 12% from baseline. The system is running smoother than it was before the damage." 12%? Commander Zexthal's scales shifted to a surprised silver color. "That's impossible. Coalition systems operate at maximum theoretical efficiency." "Apparently not," Lisa Campbell replied. She was working on the final connection, her plasma torch creating a perfect seal between human and alien components. Sometimes simple solutions work better than complicated ones. The repair continued for several hours. The human team worked steadily, solving problems as they arose. When they encountered unexpected energy fluctuations, they adjusted their approach. When the quantum field showed signs of instability, they modified their technique. Each challenge was met with practical solutions that shouldn't have worked, but did. "Phase 2 complete," Lisa announced. "Beginning final integration sequence." Dr. Ross monitored the quantum field as the new bypass system came fully online. Energy. Patterns are stabilizing. The matrix coherence is actually improving. Improving? Quindle checked his own instruments. That's not possible. The quantum matrix was designed by our best engineers. It cannot be improved with primitive human modifications. Watch and learn, Michelle Brooks said quietly. She was calibrating the final energy flow regulators, fine-tuning the system for optimal performance. The quantum drive core hummed with new energy. The dangerous clicking sounds had stopped. The unstable energy fluctuations had smoothed out. The entire system radiated power and stability. System check complete, Tony Garcia reported. All energy flows are within optimal parameters. Drive core efficiency is up 18% from original specifications. The coalition engineers stared in shock. 18%? Vextar's voice was barely a whisper. That's impossible. Our designs are perfect. Nothing's perfect, Sam Turner said, cleaning his tools. Everything can be improved if you think about it the right way. Commander Zexthul approached the repaired drive core. The massive alien machine looked the same as before, but now it included human-made components that seemed to fit perfectly despite being created with simple tools. How? He asked. How did you accomplish this? We listened to the machine, Lisa Campbell explained. Instead of forcing it to work according to complex theories, we asked what it needed to run efficiently. Then we gave it what it needed. Your bypass system shouldn't work, Quindle protested. The energy flows should be chaotic. The quantum matrix should be unstable. Should be, Dr. Ross agreed. But it's not. Sometimes reality doesn't match theory. When that happens, we trust reality. Maria Santos pointed to the original junction that had caused all the problems. Your system was fighting itself. All those complex calculations and precise calibrations were actually making things worse. Our bypass just gives the energy a path that makes sense. But the engineering principles, Vextar insisted, the mathematical frameworks, the established protocols, are just tools, Jake Martinez said. They're meant to help us solve problems, not create them. When the tools don't work, we find better ones. The repair was complete. The quantum drive core ran smoother than it had in years. The energy efficiency was higher than coalition specifications. The entire system was more stable and reliable than before. Incredible, Commander Zexthul muttered. You've done something our best engineers sighed was impossible. We've done something your best engineers wouldn't try, Lisa corrected. There's a difference. The coalition crew prepared for departure. Their ship was now running better than when it had first left the shipyard. The repairs that should have taken 8 weeks were complete in 2 days. How do we explain this to Coalition Command? Vextar asked his colleague. We don't, Quindle replied. They wouldn't believe it anyway. As the Stellar Dominion prepared to leave Luna Station, Commander Zexthul made a decision that would change everything. Chief Martinez, he said, I want to document this repair procedure. Other coalition vessels may benefit from your ... techniques. Of course, Jake replied. We're always happy to share knowledge. The massive alien ship departed, its quantum drive humming with perfect efficiency. The coalition crew was quiet, processing what they had witnessed. Human engineers had not just repaired their ship, they had improved it beyond what alien technology could achieve. Commander, Vextar said finally, perhaps we should reconsider our assumptions about human capabilities. Yes, Zexthul agreed. Perhaps we should. Word of the impossible repair began to spread through the coalition fleet. Soon, other ships would come to Luna Station, seeking the human touch that could make their technology work better than ever before. 3 weeks after the Stellar Dominion departed Luna Station, The first curious visitor arrived. Captain Yaronic of the Trade Federation cargo hauler Void Merchant requested permission to dock. Her ship wasn't damaged, but she had heard rumors about the human repair station. Permission granted, Jake Martinez replied over the communications channel. What can we help you with today, Captain? I want to see if the stories are true, Yaronic said bluntly. Coalition Command is saying your people performed impossible repairs on Commander Zexthil's dreadnought. I need to know if humans can really improve alien technology. Jake smiled. Word was spreading faster than he had expected. We'll be happy to take a look at your ship. What problems are you having? My cargo hauler is old, Yaronic explained. The engines run hot, the power systems are inefficient, and the cargo handling equipment breaks down constantly. 3 different Coalition repair facilities have told me the ship is beyond economical repair. We'll see about that, Jake replied. Dock in Bay 3. Chief Campbell will meet you there. The Void Merchant was indeed old. A cargo ship had been in service for 40 years, hauling goods between star systems. Its hull showed the wear of countless journeys, and its engines made concerning noises during landing. Lisa Campbell greeted Captain Yaronic at the airlock. The alien captain was a tall, thin being with 6 arms and silver skin. Her species was known for their practical nature and business sense. Captain, Lisa said, what's your main concern with the ship? Everything, Yaronic replied, but mostly the engines. They're supposed to run at 70% efficiency, but they're down to 40%. Any lower and I'll lose my shipping. Contracts, Lisa nodded. Let's take a look. The human team spent the morning examining the alien cargo ship. Sam Turner crawled through the engine compartments, checking connections and energy flows. Maria Santos inspected the power distribution systems. Dr. Ross analyzed the computer controls that managed the ship's operations. Well, Captain Yaronic asked after the inspection was complete. Good news and bad news, Lisa said. The bad news is that your ship has 40 years of accumulated problems. The good news is that most of them are easy to fix. Coalition engineers said the problems were too complex for economical repair, Yaronic pointed out. They were thinking about it wrong, Sam Turner explained. They wanted to replace every worn component with new parts. That's expensive and time-consuming. What we want to do, Maria Santos added, is understand why the components are wearing out and fix the root causes. Then the existing parts will last much longer. Dr. Ross showed Captain Yaronic his analysis. Your engines are running hot because the cooling system is fighting itself. The power systems are inefficient because they're trying to compensate for the overheating. The cargo equipment breaks down because it's not getting consistent power. So you fix the cooling system and everything else improves? Yaronic asked. Exactly, Lisa confirmed. Plus a few other modifications that will make the whole ship run better. The repair work began immediately. The human team didn't just fix the cooling system, they redesigned it, using simple principles of heat transfer and fluid dynamics. They created a cooling loop that was more efficient than the original design. How did you know to do this? Captain Yaronic asked, watching Tony Garcia install new cooling conduits. Experience, Tony replied. We've worked on hundreds of ships over the years. After a while, you start to see patterns. Most alien designs are more complicated than they need to be. Complicated doesn't mean better, Michelle Brooks added. She was rewiring the power distribution network, simplifying the control systems. Sometimes the best solution is the easiest one. The work continued for 2 days. The human team found creative solutions to problems that had plagued the ship for years. They improved the engine efficiency, stabilized the power systems, and made the cargo handling equipment more reliable. Testing complete, Dr. Ross announced. Engine efficiency is up to 85%. Power systems are stable across all operating ranges. Cargo handling equipment is functioning perfectly. Captain Yarnik stared at the test results. 85%? That's better than factory specifications. Your ship is old, Lisa Campbell explained, but it's well built. A basic design is sound. It just needed someone to make it work the way it was supposed to. How much do I owe you? Yarnik asked. Standard repair rates, Jake Martinez replied. Same as we'd charge for any other ship. But you've improved. My ship beyond original specifications. Coalition repair facilities would charge premium rates for this kind of work. We're not Coalition, Jake said simply. We're human. We fix things because that's what we do. Captain Yarnik departed with a ship that ran better than it had in decades. She immediately contacted other Trade Federation captains, telling them about the remarkable human repair station. The next visitor arrived a week later, Dr. Zalmer of the scientific research vessel Cosmic. Inquiry had come specifically to test human capabilities. His ship carried sophisticated scientific equipment and complex experimental systems. I've heard remarkable claims about your repair abilities, Dr. Zalmer said. I have brought several challenging engineering problems to see if your methods can solve them. We're always up for a challenge, Lisa Campbell replied. What problems are you having? My quantum spectrometer keeps losing calibration. My dimensional scanner produces inconsistent readings. My antimatter containment system fluctuates randomly. 3 different Coalition science facilities have declared these problems unsolvable. Dr. Ross studied the scientific equipment with interest. These are fascinating machines. Very sophisticated. Too sophisticated for your primitive techniques, I would assume, Dr. Zalmer said. But I wanted to test the claims I've been hearing. The human team spent 3 days studying the alien scientific instruments. They were indeed complex, with multiple interconnected systems that operated on advanced physical principles. Found. The problems, Sam Turner announced. Your quantum spectrometer is perfectly calibrated. The problem is that your ship's main computer is trying to recalibrate it every few minutes. The dimensional scanner is fine too, Maria Santos added, but it's picking up interference from your own quantum spectrometer. They're fighting each other. And your antimatter containment system, Tony Garcia continued, is fluctuating because it's trying to compensate for power variations caused by the other 2 systems. Dr. Zalmer looked confused. But these are separate systems. They shouldn't interfere with each other. They shouldn't, Dr. Ross agreed, but they do. The problem isn't with the individual machines. It's with how they're integrated into your ship systems. So what's the solution? Dr. Zalmer asked. Isolation, Lisa Campbell said. We create buffer systems that prevent the machines from interfering with each other. Simple fix, but it requires understanding how all the systems work together. The repairs took 2 days. The human team didn't modify the sophisticated scientific equipment. They just prevented it from interfering with itself. The solution was elegant in its simplicity. Testing complete, Dr. Ross announced. All systems are operating at optimal efficiency with no interference. Dr. Zalmer ran his own tests. Every instrument worked perfectly. The readings were consistent and accurate. The scientific equipment performed better than factory specifications. Remarkable, he said. Coalition science facilities told me these problems were inherent to the technology. You've solved them in 2 days. The problems weren't inherent, Lisa explained. They were caused by the systems not working well together. Once we fixed that, everything worked fine. Dr. Zalmer returned to the Coalition science community with proof that human engineering could solve problems that alien experts couldn't. His report caused great interest and some concern among Coalition scientists. More ships began arriving at Luna Station. Each captain brought different problems, and each time the human team found solutions that worked better than anyone expected. The station's reputation grew with each successful repair. "We're getting famous," Jake Martinez told his team during a staff meeting. "Ships are coming from all over the galaxy just to see what we can do. Are we ready for this?" Lisa Campbell asked. "We're a small station with a small crew. If this keeps up, we'll be overwhelmed." "We'll adapt," Jake replied. "We always do. Besides, this is good for humanity. We're showing the galaxy that humans have something valuable to offer." The repairs continued, each one building on the lessons learned from previous visits. The human team was developing a reputation not just for fixing things, but for making them work better than they ever had before. Word of the human repair station spread throughout the galaxy. Soon, Luna Station would become the most sought-after repair destination in known space. 6 months after the first Coalition vessel had limped into Luna Station, the small human repair facility had transformed into something unprecedented in galactic history. The original docking bays had been expanded to accommodate ships of all sizes. New workshops had been built to handle different types of alien technology. The staff had grown from 12 humans to over 200. Jake Martinez stood in the new observation deck, watching alien vessels from across the galaxy queue up for repair services. Coalition warships waited alongside Trade Federation cargo, haulers, scientific research vessels, and civilian transports. The waiting list for repairs had grown to 3 months. "Hard to believe, isn't it?" Lisa Campbell joined him at the observation window. She had been promoted to Chief Engineering Officer for the expanded facility. 6 months ago, we were a small maintenance station. Now we're the most requested repair facility in the galaxy. The aliens are still coming to understand what we do here, Jake replied. They arrive expecting standard repairs and leave with ships that work better than they ever imagined. Down in the main workshop, Bobby Chun was explaining human repair techniques to a group of alien engineering students. The young human mechanic had become an unofficial teacher, sharing knowledge with beings from dozens of different species. "The key is listening to the machine," Bobby told his audience. "Every piece of equipment has a natural way it wants to work. Our job is to help it do that, not force it to follow complicated rules." Among his students was engineer Kexwan from the Coalition Science Academy. She had come to Luna Station as a skeptic, convinced that human methods were primitive and dangerous. 3 weeks of observation had changed her mind completely. "But how do you know what the machine wants?" Kexwan asked. "Without proper diagnostic equipment and mathematical analysis, how can you determine optimal function parameters?" Karen Phillips, a systems specialist, overheard the question and joined the discussion. "We watch, we listen, we test small changes, and see what happens. Sometimes the best diagnostic tool is experience." "Experience cannot replace scientific analysis," Kexwan protested, though her tone was less certain than before. "Maybe not replace," Bobby agreed, "but it can supplement it. We use scientific analysis too, but we don't let it stop us from trying things that should work even if we can't prove why." The discussion was interrupted by an announcement over the station's communication system. "Attention all personnel. Coalition Dreadnought Stellar Dominion is requesting permission to dock." Jake Martinez smiled. Commander Zexthal was returning, and this time it wasn't an emergency. The Coalition commander had requested a routine maintenance check, something that would have been unthinkable 6 months ago. The massive warship docked in the main bay, its hull gleaming with recent repairs from other facilities. Commander Zexthal emerged from the airlock with a much larger group than before, including several high-ranking Coalition officials. "Chief Martinez," Zexthal said, his scales showing a warm golden color that indicated respect. "I want you to meet Admiral Kostara, Supreme Commander of Coalition Engineering Corps." The admiral was an imposing figure, even taller than Zex Thul, with ceremonial markings that indicated the highest levels of military engineering expertise. Her 4 arms were adorned with insignia representing decades of service. Chief Martinez. Admiral Questara said, "I have come to see this facility for myself. The reports I've received are difficult to believe." "We're honored by your visit," Jake replied. "What would you like to see?" "Everything," the admiral said simply. "I want to understand how humans have achieved what our best engineers consider impossible." The tour began in the main workshop, where Alex Rivera's team was working on a coalition patrol ship. The vessel had arrived with standard wear and maintenance issues, but the humans were implementing improvements that would extend its operational life by decades. "Explain your methodology." Admiral Kekstara commanded. Alex looked up from his work, oil stains on his uniform and a confident smile on his face. "We start by asking what's wrong and what's right. Then we figure out how to fix the wrong parts, without breaking the right parts." "That is absurdly simplistic," the admiral said. "Simple usually works better than complicated," Alex replied. "This ship's main problem is that its power distribution system fights itself. Instead of redesigning the whole system, we just give the power an easier path to follow." Admiral Quexdara watched as the human team implemented their modifications. The work looked crude compared to coalition precision techniques, but the results were undeniable. The ship's efficiency improved by 20% in just 2 hours. The tour continued through different workshops. Frank Moore demonstrated engine optimization techniques that increased power output while reducing fuel consumption. Nancy Walsh showed how communication systems could be simplified to improve reliability and range. "Your people seem to have an intuitive understanding of engineering principles," Admiral Quexdara observed. "How is this possible? Your species has only recently developed space travel." Dr. Kevin Ross, who had been documenting human repair techniques, joined the conversation. "We think it's because humans approach problems differently. We don't start with theory and work toward practice. We start with what needs to be done and figure out how to do it." "But surely scientific principles must guide engineering decisions," the admiral protested. "They do," Dr. Ross agreed. "But we don't let them limit our options. If something works, we try to understand why afterward. If it doesn't work, we try something else." The tour reached its climax in the advanced workshop, where Pete Collins and Danny Cruz were working on an experimental project. They had taken components from a dozen different alien technologies and created a hybrid system that combined the best features of each. "What is this?" Admiral Quexdara asked, studying the strange machine. "A universal repair unit," Pete explained. "It can adapt to work on any type of alien technology. Instead of needing different tools for different species equipment, this one tool can handle everything." "Impossible," the admiral said automatically. "Alien technologies are too different to be serviced by a single system." "That's what we thought." "Too," Danny added. "But when you break everything down to basic principles, energy flow, structural integrity, information processing, most technologies work the same way underneath." Admiral Quexdara spent an hour examining the universal repair unit. It was unlike anything in coalition technology, yet it clearly worked. The machine successfully diagnosed and repaired components from 6 different alien species. "I need to speak with you privately," the admiral told Jake Martinez. They went to Jake's office, a simple room overlooking the main workshop. Through the windows, they could see humans and aliens working together, sharing knowledge and techniques. "Chief Martinez," Admiral Quexdara began, "I came here expecting to find humans using primitive methods to achieve limited results. Instead, I find a facility that surpasses anything in coalition space." "We just do what works," Jake replied modestly. "It's more than that," the admiral continued. Your people have created a new approach to engineering, one that combines scientific knowledge with practical innovation in ways we never considered. She paused, her scales shifting to show deep thought. A coalition would like to propose a formal partnership. We want to establish joint research facilities where human and alien engineers can work together. We want to learn from each other. Jake considered this carefully. What kind of partnership? Full technological exchange, the Admiral said. We share our most advanced technologies with humanity. In return, your people teach us your methods and help us apply them to our own engineering challenges. That's a generous offer, Jake said. But what do you really want? Admiral Quexdara's scales showed a color Jake had never seen before, a deep purple that seemed to indicate profound respect. We want to learn how to think like humans, she said simply. We want to understand how your people can look at our most complex technologies and see simple solutions. A partnership agreement was signed 2 weeks later. The ceremony took place in the main docking bay, with representatives from dozens of alien species in attendance. Jake Martinez and Admiral Quexdara exchanged documents while engineers from across the galaxy watched history being made. This partnership represents a new era in galactic engineering, Admiral Quexdara announced. No longer will different species work in isolation. Together, we will solve problems that no single species could handle alone. The first joint project was announced immediately, the construction of a new type of starship that would incorporate the best technologies and techniques from across the galaxy. The vessel would be called the Unity Forge, and it would serve as a symbol of interspecies cooperation. Months later, Jake Martinez stood on the bridge of the completed Unity Forge. The ship was beautiful, combining sleek alien aesthetics with robust human engineering principles. Its systems ran with perfect efficiency, incorporating innovations that no single species could have developed alone. Status report, Jake called out. All systems optimal, reported Chief Engineer Lisa Campbell. Drive efficiency is exceeding all projections. This ship will revolutionize space travel throughout the galaxy. The Unity Forge departed Luna Station on its maiden voyage, carrying a mixed crew